Hey, welcome to this episode of Quickfire. Today, we're going to take a little peek back to 2015 and give you our thoughts and impressions on FromSoftware's horror action RPG, Bloodborne, on the PlayStation 4.
Hear our prayers. No, we shall not abandon the dream.
Bloodborne. Right off, I have nothing bad to say about this game. 5 years later, and I am still playing it. I am a huge fan of FromSoftware and the Dark Souls series. When I first saw the teaser back in 2014 at E3 during their Sony press conference, I was in awe. A fast-paced combat, dark horror, third-person action RPG, for me, personally, this is one of my top 5 games of this console generation. The story is based around you arrive in a city called Yarman, a gothic decrepit city that has been plagued with an epidemic that has transformed its inhabitants into twisted, nightmarish, violently deranged creatures. You must navigate through the world during the night of the hunt to stop the source of this plague. The gameplay is fast, in this strategic action combat RPG that requires an offensive approach in order to combat the dense hordes of enemies that lay ahead. Your weaponry is unique, diverse, offering melee and range mechanics, replacing magic with gadgets, and an arsenal of twisted imaginative weaponry, from cleavers to claws to swords, and with most weapons having an alternate state, which are called trick weapons. An example, a cane wields like a sword, but its alternate state is a whip. You also carry a secondary, usually a pistol, that can be used to stun enemies, opening them up for devastating attacks called visceral attacks for a large amount of damage. You will need strategy and reflexes, as Bloodborne's enemy diversity from deranged mobs to scourged beasts to death dealers encourage players to try new strategies whenever possible. Dodge or parry attacks, strafing around enemies while locked on, looking for an opening to strike, against agile and intelligent enemies. And with the regain system, a hunter hit has a small window of time in which they can recover damage incurred by attacking enemies, giving the hunter a means to heal themselves directly through combat and pushing you for a much more offensive approach to engage in combat. And then come the boss fights. No recent game has challenged me more with boss fights than Bloodborne. Each boss memorable and twisted looking, like something out of a nightmare. The difficulty is hard. Mistakes can be costly. Just like Dark Souls games, however, if you die, you lose all your blood echoes, experience points, unless you can return to where you died to retrieve them before you die again. You will play through grand cathedrals, to forbidden forest, to a labyrinth of gothic architecture, old sewer systems, old castles that are forever lost in every dark and eerie decrepit stone, or gnarled tree as fires burn high. Bloodborne's multiplayer offers competitive multiplayer as well as cooperative multiplayer, lending a helping hand to other hunters, or work together through chalice dungeons, vast underground ruins beneath Yarum, as well as leaving messages for other players, warning them of enemies ahead, or trick other hunters of what's to come. I personally love what FromSoftware has done with Bloodborne in this dark, gothic, Lovecraftian world of exploration, from the diverse, vile enemies you encounter, the memorable boss fights that stay with you even after you've defeated them, to the difficulty of learning your enemy's movements, and your hunter's customization through leveling up, and the appearance customization by donning new gear, led me to have so many great memorable moments while playing that I would highly recommend at least people try Bloodborne themselves at least once.